Sports Matters TV.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the weekly episode of the WrestleSlam Podcast, the only place for your news, reviews, booze, and who was your first pick for this weekend's WWE Draft? It is all happening. There's lots of moves, lots of shakes, lots of and lots of no's. But we're here to discuss everything and all that's in between, before and after. I am joined, of course, it's myself, sensational Queen Lizzie, joined by Booker G 5 times, and Jerry. He's got kids. Colin, guys, how are you today?
Excellent. A bit pissed off about the draft, if I may be honest. There was some good moments, and there was some very strange moments. One in particular, the New Day, which was strange.
Yeah,
given the Netflix stuff and all that coming out.
Yeah, I cannot wait to get into discuss this draft, darling. Even though I woke up with you this morning, how are you getting on?
We just did batch cooking for the week, so literally about 2 minutes ago I turned the oven off.
He's very good like that, so I went and got ready. Yeah. So excellent. That's a good balance there. So we're going to crack straight into the draft, guys. We might as well. So we have our WWE draft upon us. Everybody's available: Raw, Smackdown, NXT, as we saw with developments. And also, if they're not drafted, free agents can be signed to anywhere. So I like that twist. I think that's very, very interesting. And I'm looking forward to see what shenanigans take place on Monday. Flying in with round one. No surprise that our first draft pick was Roman, our tribal chief, Reigns. I think we are all in agreement. Yes, I think we are all in agreement with that there was no doubt in our minds who was going to be our first draft pick. Delighted. And then, of course, we had our good friend, Big E, very close friend of Jonathan Davenport, whose interview is up on our WrestleSlam YouTube channel. Amazingly talented guy. So, yeah, Big E then off to Raw.
Yeah.
Sorry, Big E's on Raw. Charlotte Flair to Smackdown with the Raw title on her. Now, obviously, from the start, these changes don't take place until after Crown Jewel. But, yeah, apparently Fox wanted Charlotte. Surprised?
Yeah, she knows how to make a lot of noise. You know what I mean? She's really her own person. In my opinion, that she is the greatest wrestler of all time, and I'm only saying that right now. But she's she's still early into her career, and she is the greatest. There's no one ever done what she's done. An absolute athlete. She is, drama when she wants to be, but in a good way. She's like her dad. She's a clone of her dad, and she knows how to sell things, and she knows how to get where she wants. So yeah, I'm not surprised Fox wanted her with the surname and stuff. And in my opinion, look, she is the greatest female wrestler of all time already, and she still has years left on the tank.
100%, she is. I'm sorry, and I know we've got a lot of I don't want to say close contenders, but a lot of contenders. But there is no doubt she is the most talented female wrestler out there, from in-ring ability, as you say, from storytelling, drama, self-assurance, self-awareness, ring awareness and presence. But aside from that, the look, the persona, and the dedication she puts into what's required to be that top dog, So yeah, wouldn't disagree in any way, shape, or form. And then our Bianca is gone to Raw.
Yeah.
Booker G, fantasy bucket.
Bianca winning the belt at Crown Jewel and taking it to Raw.
Yeah.
Charlotte on SmackDown with that title, they'll just do what they normally do and just pretend like they're, they don't matter, and just turn them into the opposite fucking titles. Then obviously they won't just hand them over like New Day and Profits did last year. So
that's right.
Yeah.
There'll be just some sort of bragging rights or something. Maybe they'll have a once-off match to decide, who's the Raw champion, who's the SmackDown champion in a Survivor Series. Maybe the Queen. No, that's before, isn't it? The tournament.
So,
I didn't like Bianca on Raw though. Do you know when she was on Raw before she went to SmackDown? I didn't really like it. You know what I mean? I think she's definitely a blue. I really do, and I think she's done a lot already in the last couple of months. But I think they've made a bad move. Obviously, what Zero says makes perfect sense though. That's probably what's going to happen. But I think she's a blue. I just don't think Raw is for her. I don't know why.
Do we think that maybe she is a trade for Charlotte? that, like, I mean, when you think about, like, USA are losing Charlotte, and there's, I mean, like, not been funny, Charlotte hasn't had a lot to work with on Raw, let's be fair, you know, but even she made the Alexa segments believable. We know the work Alexa put into them, but it takes a star to make them less goofy, you know, so, and I think Charlotte did that, but I think maybe Bianca might be a bit of a trade, unless Monday now Becky gets traded, or Becky gets drafted over to Raw, who knows? But I think maybe that they needed a like for like, and I think maybe they probably see a lot of Charlotte in Bianca, because like Bianca has the athletic ability that Charlotte got in her 30s. Do you know what I mean? Like her early 30s, Bianca has it now. You know, so the sky is the limit for her. So yeah, I cannot wait to see how this all kind of works out. From that, we went into round 2. Drew McIntyre, Gladiators, ready! He's gone to Smackdown.
Yeah.
I love that.
Great move. Drew was a legend. I watched all his media work there the last couple of weeks when he went back to home to Scotland. He was kissing the ground, and yeah, Drew is a workhorse, lads. He's a real workhorse. I think he's got a massive career outside of wrestling too.
Oh yeah.
I think he's really, what he's done since he's come back to WWE has been incredible, you know, via NXT and then obviously main roster. Well, he actually pinpointed to me when I said that to him in an interview that, you know, NXT is a main roster. He almost took my head off in the midst of an interview. So Drew, I apologise, but look, he's incredible. He had a big conference there recently. There was some big thing. He was on stage talking, some poetry event. I love Drew. It's a good move for him. Blue equals Scotland. Yeah, I love him, and he's a workhorse. I'm looking forward to seeing what he's doing. He's maintained his big status within the company, and I think there's big things to come for Drew for sure.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. And you know what? You can see him in a spokesperson role, a representative role for the company, I think, and maybe some kind of a behind-the-scenes role as well when his time in the ring is maybe up. I think he will be a great ambassador for the company as well, you know, because he thoroughly loves the trade. He loves the job, you know, so yeah, I can see him in something like that when his ring time comes to an end. Tell me, Drew going to Smackdown, are we setting Drew up for a title match when the alleged SummerSlam comes to the UK next year?
Yeah,
he'll have to be in some sort of title match for some title, whether it's the Universal WWE title or a mid-card title or whatever it is. He needs to be in a big profile match if they're going to pull the British Bulldog thing with him. Like, you know, maybe have the Intercontinental title headline that show, like, you know, as a you know, a
nice
managed to it.
yeah.
Like, but then again, Davey Boy's son could be in a title match by then if they put him on the fucking show and give him some time on TV.
Yeah, we want Davey Boy drafted, and we want Davey Boy in a prominent match on SummerSlam. Georgia, we believe in him. We love you both, and we want him in a prominent match because we cannot be there. Wait to be there ringside cheering him on. Can you see it happening, Jerry?
Yeah, 100%. I only spoke to Georgia like 2 days ago, and there's something new, and I think there's something happening, all right. Look, Davey Boy's name is trending a lot now again lately. Hall of Famer. So yeah, I think, look, SummerSlam has to happen in the UK next year. We deserve it. And just the thought of the WrestleSlam team boarding a plane to the UK, not just for 2-3 days. I mean a proper Thursday to Monday.
A Thursday.
Even if the Raw and SmackDown hopefully is in the UK. They normally are when they do stuff like that. So yeah, look, I think so. Yeah, I think, look, I would love to see Drew though. Drew go in and win a world title in the UK. That's what I love more than anything. He deserves it. He's worked hard. He's defied all odds. He got fired. He came back. He worked hard. He you know, he's just like, there should be a statue of Drew in Scotland when it's all said and done in 10, 15 years. And I love him. I love him to bits. He's always a great guy. As I say, look, I read his book. I read everything about him. I love him to bits. Great guy, and he deserves, you know, to headline perhaps SummerSlam. I'm going to say headline. I legit think he deserves to headline SummerSlam next year.
But it's that moment, like, that he missed out on beating Brock. You know, the fans cheering him on, getting that big win. Like, you know, people are getting kind of bored of the Raw thing. So going to SmackDown should freshen him up and give him some new feuds. Like, you know,
he's very likable. Very likable. Yeah. You can't say a bad thing, and he gets the pop every time. His entrance is incredible. The sword, do you know what I mean? It's new. Who knows? They might announce SummerSlam for Scotland.
And he's a big Elton John fan because he tweeted a video of him at the Elton John gig during Smackdown.
Like, oh my God. But do you know what? European fans are probably some of the most loyal. We are a very, very loyal fan base. And we were having a chat about this when we were out yesterday, and we were saying, like, how many more people would be willing to travel to the UK, certainly from Ireland, to have a homegrown hero, like the British Bulldog when he won at SummerSlam. You know, it was just, it's just one of those things, you know, that just brings us that joy as wrestling fans, you know. So to see something like that for, I suppose, a homegrown superstar, what a platform for Jordan Devlin, what a platform for Mustache Mountain, what a platform for Walter, what a platform for Aoife Valkyrie. You know what I mean? There's so much there that it's a great way to showcase that talent and actually open the eyes of the bigwigs to understand how over they are on this side of the pond, because they are, you know. So yeah, I just cannot wait.
I would actually cry if we're like SummerSlam in the UK. I'll cry. I lived in London in '92 when SummerSlam was on. And
my God.
My mate's brother went to SummerSlam. I always remember the memorabilia, the British Bulldog, and all the stuff they had, like, you know, Bret Hart. But I'm telling you, that to me would be, like, I've been to 3 WrestleManias, is it? Like, SummerSlam to me in the UK, that will make me cry. I will cry when I walk into whatever arena it is, and I will cry. I will actually cry.
The emotions will be just through the roof, and the atmosphere will be, I mean, the atmosphere at those big pay-per-views is always fantastic. But I don't know, like, I mean, and we thoroughly enjoyed when we were at Mania as well, but I don't know, our fans hit different. We are invested emotionally in our wrestlers. We really are, and we feel everything that they feel. You know, we are all that CM Punk fan. You know, there might be 1 or 2 of them scattered in the States, but every wrestling fan in Europe is #crying CM Punk fan. We all are, because we feel it, we believe it.
Because we don't get it that often.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
We appreciate it. That's a great call. We appreciate it because we don't get it as often.
And I will say, like, for WrestleManias, lads, I can guarantee you, like, say if you have a 70,000 arena, you can guarantee there's more than 25,000 European fans.
Oh, yeah, 40-50% of them are.
There you go, like, you know,
travel. They always say there's like 40,000 people who travel to WrestleMania for WrestleMania every year. Like, so
you always hear the Irish accent on the plane. Always. I went to New Orleans. You always hear the Northern Ireland accent. And where you from? I'm from Derry, Down, you know, Cork, Waterford. Unique. Bring on SummerSlam 2022. The UK WrestleSlam are coming on a private jet. We are coming.
Drew McIntyre versus The Rock, who defeats Roman Reigns at WrestleMania for the Universal title.
Oh my God! Well, if Drew goes over The Rock and SummerSlam, I don't know if my emotions can cope with that. Balling, Jesus Christ, I'm being in an awful way.
The Rock will be in the UK doing a fucking media tour.
Mel Gibson ringside.
Why not? Do you know what I mean? Definitely. Get a few more in. Why not? Elton John will play Drew in on the bagpipes. It's all happening. You know, you heard it here first, lads. Booker G, you heard it here first.
Love it. So,
tangent. RK Bro, Raw, of course. Hopefully Randy Orton will be back soon. And Jerry, Kofi and Xavier.
Shocking.
Biggie.
What the fuck are they doing with this Netflix special coming out? Like, it is on the brink of stopping. It's stupid, isn't it?
It's brilliant. It's going to be hilarious.
Yeah, it literally is. Like, it's just going to
Did you see Bandersnatch, the Black Mirror thing on Netflix last year when it was out the year before?
Yeah.
So you get a chance, you can choose, you know, what he does next. You can choose that, you know, obviously the whole scenes will play out eventually, like, whatever way you play it. So you can choose the ending or what they can do next. So this is what they're going to do. They can choose which room they go to. Like, eventually it'll all, you know, come back to where it's going to end up anyway. Like, but it's only 30-something minutes long. Like, so it's like Tuesday this week.
Yeah. Mad.
That said, you know what? I think there's going to be shenanigans on Monday because we saw what happened on Smackdown with Roman Reigns sending the boys with Paul Heyman, which, lads, I'm sorry, #face Brock, #Winky Brock. I am here for it. I love it. Don't tell me that man can't talk on a mic. That man can talk for Ireland as a face on the mic. And I am just here for the lumberjack that is Brock Lesnar. So I think he's just phenomenal. I'd like to thank my good friend Paul Heyman. that, I think there's going to be shenanigans, that there may be a trade-off, that there could be a tag team maybe, or somebody maybe coming back, or a tag team going somewhere else to join maybe the New Day up again, because if there's something going on because of the Usos, you know, they don't want them to be traded over to, or traded, the word you swear it was the NFL, drafted to Raw. So there's definitely going to be some shenanigans to keep them where they need to be, or some kind of trade-off. So I know you're upset, Jerry, but let's see what happens on Monday. I don't think it's all in vain just yet. I think it's okay, because we don't want another hurt business. Yeah. And then just put them back together for no fucking reason, you know. From that, Edge is going to Raw. Yeah. Darling husband, tell me, is this setting up Edge and AJ?
Hopefully. Edge and AJ, WrestleMania. Obviously, the Edge is still part-time, like, so he's going to Raw to, you know, 1 or 2 feuds between now and WrestleMania. He may have finish off the Seth Rollins one at Crown Jewel, if that's where they're going with it. Mm-hmm. They haven't announced it yet, but I'm presuming that's where it's going. So, you know, presuming Seth is going to go over in that, if they're setting him up for a bigger push towards the Rumble season.
All right.
But yeah, Edge and AJ has to happen at WrestleMania.
He needs to face him before Edge finishes up. So I suppose 2020, 2021, 2022. So we're talking the end of next year will be the end of Edge's contract. He was a 3-year contract. So fuck it, we might get Edge at SummerSlam as well. I won't be able to hold myself.
I'll take it.
You know, so yeah, I think that might be a good setup. Would you like to see that match, Jerry?
Oh, I love it. AJ and Edge are iconic. Like, to me, they're in the top 15 for me, at least. You know what I mean? When it comes to wrestlers, they're top 8. So like you have character / gimmick / wrestler, but these guys are wrestlers. They're really good as well. Yeah, it's a match I love to see. I think if this match was to happen at SummerSlam or Mania and I was there, I'd be very quiet. I'd be observing it. You know, I wouldn't be watching what's around me. I'd be looking straight at the match. Yeah, it needs to happen. I don't think have they faced before?
No, not to my recollection.
There you go. It's a match, a dream match. Do you know what I mean? It's like Omega and you know, Daniel Bryan.
He had that standoff at the Rumble when Edge came back.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you look at the people who are in the ring or in around the time that he came back, like, you know, Roman was there. He's faced Roman. Seth was there. He's facing Seth.
RKO.
Randy was there. He's faced Randy. Like, you know, so if you look at the remaining 4 or 5 people who are in that Royal Rumble, besides AJ, because AJ got injured during that, he was supposed to be in the final 4, I think. Before he got injured, but I think he got injured because of something that Edge did to him, or he speared him, or something happened. He popped the shoulder or something. So that's a long-term story they could tell, that, you know, AJ never forgave him for injuring him during the Royal Rumble or something when he came back. You know,
it has to happen. It will happen too. It's no other way. I can't see him going any other directions at the moment with the roster being so packed. You know, makes sense. Makes a good booking.
Oh God, yeah, what an incredible match to look forward to. It ticks every box on the wrestling list, and as you say, regardless of in-ring performance, they have to package the whole lot: the storytelling, the drama, the expressions, the investment in their characters. They have it all. And I think from a wrestling fan's perspective, when you have a match with 2 people that strong in all aspects of the role of what's required to be a star, it's a win-win, you know. So it's a treat for the eyes, most definitely. So we'll be looking forward to that one.
AJ's you know, not going to be around much longer either. Like, when he wanted Triple H last year, it never happened. So getting a big match like this is definitely something he needs.
Yeah, absolutely. He needs to go out on a high, there is no doubt. Round 3 brought us Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss, which we'll talk about in a minute. They're going to be staying on SmackDown. The fact that our tag team women's champions are a round 3 pick.
Love it. Fuck it. We're X-rated. We're over 18s. You know what I mean? If we apologise, but look, yeah, you're dead right.
We'll eventually have a big blooper show.
Dead right.
Round 3 pick.
Mommy, you have some child watching at home. Mommy, Lizzie just said this. Where did you learn that word, child? Lizzie from WrestleSlam.
Oh my God. She thinks Rhea's a prick. Oh my God. No, right. That their 3rd round pick is disappointing. Even though it doesn't look like it. It is disappointing. Because I'm not a fan of this tag team at all. I can't stand it. I hate the way these stars have been booked, and I want Nikki Knows the Secret back. They're off to Raw. Yeah. Sorry, they're staying on Raw.
Well, they're champions, so they can go anywhere, really.
Yeah, but you know how we feel about this.
Yeah.
Your champions should be drafted first. I would like to see them all in the ring when they are drafted, and then have the face-offs with the tag teams that are drafted to the brand that they are on, to the champions that are drafted to, are the contenders who are drafted to the brands that the champions are on, and have those face-offs so we can fantasy book 5 or 6 feuds on the one night and not know where it's going, as opposed to your champions are, you know, the third prick on the list. You know what I mean? So, Hero are going to SmackDown. I thought they were a sure thing for Raw, but they're coming up to SmackDown. Yeah, to be fair. Now, it's a good call, as you say, that they are kind of going to SmackDown. My only concern is that we'll be a little bit gimmicky for a while. Not so much concern, I think it's needed, because 50% of Hit Row are still a bit green, to say the least.
Yeah.
That's my, I think 50%, maybe 75% of them are still quite green. So they definitely need some in-ring work. Jerry, fan of Hit Row?
Yeah, I think they have massive potential moving forward. As you said, they are a bit green. Still a lot to learn, you know. But it's a crazy industry. We've seen a lot of tag teams being broken up, a lot of tag teams that have worked for years and they've got nowhere. But yeah, hopefully, it's a tough time in the industry for all of them. Tag teams, you know what I mean? It's rare you get a good tag team, and anytime we've had a good tag team, they've all wanted to, you know, have their contracts terminated, and they fucked off to AEW, and look what they've done there. But yeah, I would be optimistic that they can do something, definitely.
For sure. Yeah, fingers crossed, you know. Let's see what they do with them, and hopefully say it's not too gimmicky, but give them a little bit of time to flourish, because that is a big jump for them, I think.
Yeah.
From the NXT shows to SmackDown Live, it's quite a big jump. So fingers crossed they thrive and we get a really, really nice faction group out of it. Yeah. From that, we have Keith Bearcat Lee. He is going to be on Raw for the foreseeable future. I always get really, really worried after listening to Keith Lee's video on how he was ill at the start of the year. That always really, because I just, you know, I don't know, we all have nothing but love for Keith Lee. So I'm wondering, do they split AJ and Omos up, and Omos is next on the plate for the Bearcat?
Yeah, Omos is he's been one-dimensional at the moment. I think the whole Keith Lee name change, you know, Bearcat, I think he's just going to get on with it. Like, you know, he's very, very vocal. Like, you know, his Facebook page is still active, like, legit. Like, he puts things up on Facebook, like, still to this day, where he's not happy and he's on about stuff. But, yeah, like, they've really fucked. Unless no Keith and Omos do something really good, you know what I mean? But, yeah, they've lost the ball. I think Keith Lee really needs a good 3-4 months. You know what I mean?
He needs a strong
have to be all dominant. Like if he takes a loss between here and fucking Christmas, January, then you're not going to see much of Keith Lee next year. You know what I mean?
Well, the way it seems to be like they're booking Raw, the way they're booking NXT 2.0 at the minute. They're doing a lot of squash matches to get more people on the show, like. Yeah. But you know, give them a feud, like, give them something to do. Don't, you know, Karrion Kross is doing squash matches. Keith Lee's going to be doing squash matches, you know, and they're both being booked shit since they came from NXT. Like, so, you know, it's hard to invest. They need more screen time for us to get invested in them. Yeah. Man. They can't just do squash matches and disappear. Like, you know, that was okay when Braun Strowman did squash matches when he got drafted to Raw that time, and they built him up to be this mega star. Like, he was squashing everybody. Like, but he was with the Wyatt family, and he was a monster, right? Yeah. You know, they fucked up Keith Lee and Karrion Kross already, like, so, like, giving them just squash matches and they're disappearing again, like, doesn't really help them. Like, they need a big feud that they win. Like, they need to go off over somebody important.
Yeah. And Keith Lee's an excellent talker. He is amazing on the mic. He's an excellent talker when they don't script him. He's amazing. He's highly educated, has an amazing tone of voice. Huge selection of vocabulary, you know, but not in a condescending way. So I want to hear him more, you know. So yeah, hopefully he gets a nice feud and a nice run. From that, we went into round 4. So Naomi is staying on SmackDown. A little bit of a tease from Sonya because she's saying it wasn't her decision. Naomi needs to join the bloodline. That is all I will say. She needs to be in the bloodline. I want to see it. The Mysterios are gone to Raw.
Yeah.
I'm happy they haven't split them up yet because we need the turn. We need the turn. Who's turning, Jerry? Dominic or Ray? Is Ray going to be a disappointed dad or Dominic a spoiled teenager?
I'd say Ray's going to fuck him up, to be honest.
I'd love it. I would love Ray to turn and go, you're a disappointment. Your real father isn't even proud of you, you know?
Yeah. No, I'm telling you straight, I think Ray's going to do it. Like, we're all predicting Dominic to make the turn, but, like, I think Ray will do something. I think Ray will cost him, Dominic will cost Ray and him a match, and then Ray will fucking start saying, I wish you were Eddie, son. Do you know what I mean? And then, and then fucking WrestleMania, we'll have the first father versus son, maybe? No, Shane and Vince fought today.
Yeah. But not being funny, a proper wrestling match that's father and son. And then the big embrace at the end.
I wish they split them up. I wish they should have split them. I wish Dominic would have been drafted to NXT as opposed to, like, he needs to go to NXT and, you know, become a star. Like, he can't be Ray Fun forever. Like, he needs to be himself. Like,
Dominic will do well, though. I think Dominic will actually, the next 2 years.
He's super talented, but he's always going to be Ray's son.
Yeah.
Charlotte is Ric Flair's daughter, like, but Charlotte is her own brand. Like, Charlotte is something special. Like, Dominic didn't get that opportunity to shine in NXT and become something. Like, he's just, you know, giving his dad piggyback rides to the fucking ring. Like, you know, it's like, just
trick or treat.
Go draft him and, you know, give him something to do. Like, and if he's drafted to NXT, like, he's pissed off that his dad isn't coming with him, you know, have him a heel turn and send him to NXT as a heel. You know, let him become a prick. You know, I'm Ray's son. Like, you know, respect me. Like, blah blah blah. Be a prick of a heel and build his way up NXT for a year. Like, and give him something to work towards. And
agree.
Oh, yeah, and line him up with Santos Escobar like that. Yeah, so it could be something from that, guys. Jeff Hardy for SmackDown. God bless him. Poor Jeff didn't get a word out until Lumberjack turned up in the check shirt. That was that. And I was like, Jeff, to be honest with you, don't blame you.
Jeff was in a check shirt as well.
You know, honestly, lads, it was like flannel versus flannel. Like, we love Mick Foley. You know, flannel versus flannel versus flannel. And then Austin Theory. Austin Theory's on his way to Raw. So,
called up again.
Yeah, the way maybe is no more, because there's obviously a lot going on. People are on their honeymoons, you know, doing all sorts of stuff. Candice LeRae is pregnant, and now Austin's off to Raw. So yeah, I'm really happy for him, and I really hope he makes a difference on Raw and that they treat him with what he deserves, because he's bad. You know, Austin is Austin. He's a very, very unique character, and he's entertaining. So
you might try and dress him up next to Carrion.
Oh, Jesus Christ Almighty! Do put the straps on.
Imagine that tag team.
Well, he was on Raw before, like during the pandemic. He was with fucking
Zelina Vega,
with Seth Rollins for a while. In that faction as well, like Zelina Vega. Like, I think it was more the look of him Vince liked and wanted him on TV. Yeah. Because of the pandemic, he wanted to, you know, do something with him, but they, you know, didn't work out, and he disappeared and went back to NXT. And obviously, his character with the way has been brilliant. It's been one of the standout things in NXT before the NXT 2.0. So he's been doing dark matches for a while now. So I'm curious to what, you know, the fact that he's got an actual on-screen draft as opposed to the supplemental draft on the bump or online or something that they wasn't even talked about. So the fact that he's, you know, being on the fourth round is something big.
I think that's big. I think they've plans for him, you know. Fingers crossed they do. Speaking of the supplemental drafts that went out on Talking Smack, so I will read through these because there's actually quite a lot, and there was no way I was going to memorize all of these. So Raw, we have Akira Tozawa. Raw in the Alpha Academy, Otis and Chad Gable, Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz. So they're going over as one. Doudrop, she's hanging on Raw. Drake Maverick. So there's a name we haven't heard in a while, aside from 24/7 title chases. John Morrison, Nia Jax, 24/7 champion Reggie. R-Truth, T-Bar is no longer lined up with Mace. And Zelina Vega's gone to Raw as well. Good move for Zelina Vega. So we'll touch on that now when we say who's gone to SmackDown or who has been drafted to SmackDown. Aaliyah, excellent. She kind of disappeared from NXT and not a lot has been going on. So interested to see that what's going to happen with her on SmackDown and who she's going to feud with. She'd be an amazing heel. Maybe Liv, because we need to end Liv and Carmella because it's killing me. Drew Gulak and Mace is going to be on SmackDown. So tell me, with T-Bag, T-Bar and Mace split up, are we going to get Dominic Dijakovic back?
God, I hope so.
We have to.
I hope so.
With the matches he had with Keatley.
Yeah.
You know, he's gifted, surely.
But that's the thing that could make both of them shine now. You know, if he becomes Dominic Dijakovic again, and Keith Lee get a chance to have a match against each other and put on the type of matches they were putting on in NXT, that's the type of feud that Keith Lee needs to become. He doesn't need to squash Dominic Dijakovic or T-Bar. Like, that shouldn't be a squash match. That should get, a good 15 minutes, or, if it's just going to be on Raw, give them 10, 15 minutes, one break segment where they're putting on a clinic. And, they both shine on TV that, they have to take fucking notice of them. Like.
Yeah.
Their indie shows were incredible.
Amazing.
Yeah, Keith Lee's matches are just they're 10 out of 10. So why not showcase that and give the fans something to clap about, rather than fucking having squashing.
Agreed. We need that magic back, because those matches were crazy. They know each other inside out. And you know what? Especially with, obviously, there's some health worries with Keith Lee, and I know now he's almost back to his fully healthy self, but you're always conscious. You get an injury or something happens to you internally, you're always super conscious of it. They know each other so well that I think Dominic Dijakovic is probably the one who can work the best with him and protect him the most. Yeah. So because he knows his limits and can have a successful match without any unforeseen injury or internal damage, because my heart for Keith Lee. Then we have a Mansoor Mustafa-Ali with Smackdown, and Toni Storm recently engaged. Congratulations, Toni Storm. Super happy for you, babe. Will be on Smackdown as well, so hopefully they'll shine a little bit of a light on her. So that is where we are with draft pick, guys, so far, and rolling on Monday. We will have a quick chat about Smackdown and Rampage while we have some time left. So we kicked off, of course, with the world's longest entrance, which was, of course, our tribal chief, Roman Reigns, which we all fan over, and he's just fabulous, and he is what he is. So Heyman, of course, was bigging up Roman Reigns, and then out came our lumberjack, amazing. Hashtag Winky Brock, we love him. And then he took the Usos on a tour of Suplex City. But as Pat McAfee put it so very well, the suplexorcist left the ring, Roman Reigns, and Brock was left standing tall. On a scale of 1 to 1,000,000, how excited are you for this match?
I wish it wasn't in Crown Jewel, but very excited to see a face Brock against the heel Roman. The match has been done before, but this dynamic is completely fresh in the feud up.
Surely there's no outcome of this match. Surely it's going to be a DQ.
It's so hard to call, and I love that. I don't know what's going to happen.
Right, so obviously the Usos are going to get involved. Something's going to happen. Cost them the match. I don't think Brock will win. I can't see him winning, because he can't fuck off and disappear with the title again for months. SmackDown needs the title. The title has to be on. And Roman's been doing a great job, and he has been defending it on SmackDown as well as pay-per-views. It's made SmackDown the show it is because he's had the titles. So taking it off him would be a bad move. Yes,
I agree. But it's Vince, and Vince loves Brock.
Yes, this is the thing. So we don't know how many appearances as such Brock has signed on for, because he's definitely been more visible. We've seen him quite a lot more on our screens. But as you say, Vince is Vince, and that we love Brock. And at the moment, Brock, I think, is probably doing some of his best work at the moment. And the only thing is that I do have a concern that Brock will win, which I would still love to see. So, oh my God, it's tearing me apart. It's like, oh, daddy or chips. So it's like he's doing some of his best work, but he could still win. I don't want him to disappear with the title. If he's going to win, I want him to be a visual and active champ. But I'm worried that they're kind of like, okay, so with everything that's going on with, will the Usos be drafted? Is Paul Heyman been thrown under the bus, which Brock is doing a great job of as well? Is the bloodline under fire, under scrutiny? Is it going to implode? Brock is going to be the new champion, and then we're just kind of like, yeah, we've had enough kind of Roman, now we're going to go with Brock. I'm kind of worried that it's, but I do like that. I don't know what's going to happen. I love that. I think that's, that's what we all want in our wrestling. We just, as a fan, we just don't want to know what's happening.
Yeah, that's fantasy booking.
Absolutely,
It's a fantasy if you think something's going to happen and it doesn't happen. Like, you shouldn't get upset because your fantasy didn't come true. Like.
Oh, I don't know. But like, even with that though, it's great that that it's not as predictable as it was, and I'm glad they got the boot and the hold they needed to make the show more interesting. And from that, Kevin Owens versus Happy Corbin, and that's when we met the artist formerly known as Riddick Moss. I can't call him that madcap thing because that's just nuts. Edge returned, and then after being found out he's been drafted to Raw. I didn't like that Edge had no, kind of leftover injury from his beatdown when he left on a stretcher. But then Seth Rollins headed off and done a tour of his house and sat down and had some orange juice and an apple. Jerry, is Rollins going to Raw?
Yes.
Or do we have a crown jewel with the two boys? That is their feud, and Edge Raw and Rollins stays on SmackDown. This is a tough.
I think Rollins goes to Raw. To me, he was always Mr. Raw, like, the last couple of years, as a champion, not as a champion, but yeah, I think Rollins is going to fuck off to Raw. And I think there's going to be a lot kind of, I'd say after Monday Night Raw, we're going to know a lot more of what's going on properly, but yeah, I'd say Rollins is going to go to Raw.
Oh, sure, it's cool. And you know what, as well, Rollins is somebody who could open Monday Night Raw successfully. Do you know what I mean? He absolutely, when it was Monday Night Rollins as well, he just can, and they need stars. Yeah. I hate to say it, but Raw needs stars that they are backing to the moon, not multiple tag team matches, etc. So they need stars that they're going back to the moon. They need single stars.
If Becky's going to Raw, Seth will be going to Raw, basically.
Yeah, that's it. So roll on Monday's draft. We then had Carmella and Liv.
Don't even talk.
I can't. It's so upsetting. It's just a fucking joke at the moment. Give Liv more. Do better for Liv. Just do fucking better. Do better for both of them. They deserve better. They both do. 8-man tag. New Day and Street Profits. Alpha Academy. And Dolph and glorious Robert Roode. It is what it is. These people know each other inside out. It's nice to have a lot of names on, but were you both inspired, motivated to achieve more by this match?
Bobby Roode still inspires me. They've really dropped the ball with him. Like he was so good in NXT. When he came to SmackDown and he had that big entrance, he was so good. He's been punished. I think he failed. He failed something there. He failed a medical, let's just say. 2-3 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago, and they've fucked him over since. You know what I mean? He was a good Intercontinental champion. I think he was United States champion too, wasn't he? Yeah, I think they really need to get the ball back with Bobby or Robert or whatever they call him these days.
Robert, I'm sorry now, but like that entrance, like I
miss it.
I agree. I loved it.
Every time now he tries to do the glorious DDT, there's silence. Like when he was single star and he was doing it, even when he was heat, everybody was shouting glorious.
Yeah, loved it.
There was nothing on Friday night about it. There was just he went to do it, and there was like everybody was like, he never hits it anymore. So why would we expect him to hit it now?
And we're missing a lot of crowd interaction.
Yeah, he needs to leave. He's fucked. He's not. I love him to bits. He's been underused, and it's a shame. I think if he goes to AEW Impact, they'll build him.
How long he's left on his contract?
Oh, he's gone. He's not going to sign a new contract anyway. It's not. Bobby likes to wrestle, you know what I mean?
No, maybe back to Impact.
Yeah, he was the king of Impact, you know what I mean?
Yeah, talk away.
He was the king of Impact. Yeah, look, Bobby's the man, and he's really took a plummet there in the company.
Yeah. Sorry, I had an impending sneeze and it won't come and it's still not going to come out. So I was just like, I'd be in the middle of it now and there'd just be like snot everywhere. So, Then we closed up with Sasha and Bianca. So I'm not a big fan of distraction finishes when there's too many of them, but I think it moved a number of stories forward. I think it moved a number of stories forward. What did you think of this match?
Look, it's great to have Sasha back. I like the two of them. They're powerful females. I look forward to the return of Bayley whenever that will be. But look, it's good. Yeah, look, the fans will be happy with a match like that. Personally, it didn't really bother me. I've seen the match before, but yeah, it was all right. It was all right. Look, it makes for good TV, something to talk about. Two powerhouses going against each other. Yeah, nothing wrong with it.
Definitely, and probably setting up, I'd say, Charlotte and Sasha by the looks of it, with the way she kind of depict her. What did you think, though?
Closing the show. I don't know. It wasn't like the WrestleMania match. Like,
no,
you got a feeling, after she was drafted, that she was going to lose. Like, we didn't like Becky on. I liked Becky on commentary. She was popping up some one-liners like Becky biceps and stuff like that. I like that part. But I just can't see Becky as a heel going forward long term. Like, if this feud is going to continue, whether she gets drafted to Raw or not,
she's trying. She is trying, but as you said,
she is big time. But yourself. Sometimes when you're trying so hard to get something over, and it's not that it's overkill with her. It's just that that they will just oh, hang on now a second. Don't do that, and they'll just try and, I suppose, in a way, to compare it to normal working jobs, micromanage a little bit, and it's just just let her do it, let her do it. She got herself over, she did. She became the man with, I'm sorry, I don't care what they claim, with no help from anybody else. She done that,
a little help from Nia Jax.
A tad from a busted nose, but I mean, what did she do when her nose was covered in blood? And she cry in the corner and go, I think my nose is broken, I think my nose is broken. She turned around and gave one of the best visuals gifts, for that time and for that year of, wasn't she on Smackdown team, and Smackdown shirt in the crowd covered in blood with her arms over her head. She made the most of it. She got herself over, so let her do it again. Segueing from that to AEW Rampage. Yes. So I love this injection of wrestling for 1 hour on a Friday night. It's hook it to my veins. It's just woo! It's like that first coffee in the morning and you're buzzing and ready to go, and then afterwards you're not really sure what happened. So yeah, we love it. So Rampage kicked off, of course, with Bryan Danielson versus Nick Jackson. There was never a doubt in anyone's mind, I'm sure, that this was going to be an absolute clanger of a match, a dinger. Ridiculously talented wrestlers. What can you do? I don't even know how to put this into words. It was just, in many ways, a clinic, and two of the world's best. Jerry, fan of this match?
I fucking absolutely love the Young Bucks. In their full-on obsession with the lads. Got to meet them at OTT. Got to go up backstage with them at OTT. And the way they dressed, first of all, they were wearing stuff the other day. It was they were like the biggest, the way they were wearing these things, the thing, it was like the shorts and the shirts.
Yeah.
I fucking think of a proper gangster now, but they were like that. I love them, and I think if they're in tag team or single matches, they're incredible. Still very young, do you know what I mean? Great guys, great interaction with fans. They know how to play the game. But yeah, look, it was a dream match in my opinion. Anyone that Daniel Bryan faces outside of WWE is going to be a dream match. And yeah, loved it to bits. Watched it twice. Sometimes the partner thinks I'm a bit insane when I repeat things, and I have this thing where I'll always watch an entrance every day. I could watch Roman's entrance every day. When the crowd came back, and she's like, "Why are you watching that again for?" I was like, "You won't understand. It's just."
Yeah.
She's like, "Are you fucking insane?" I'm like, "No, I'm enjoying it. I'm trying to." So yeah, look, it was a great match. And I love the Young Bucks. I love Daniel obviously as well, but yeah, it was huge. Loved it.
Definitely. And even a point of the entrances, they're captivating. They absolutely are. And when you're that fully invested and you're buying into it, that's a success. So absolutely no wrong with that. For this match, is this setting up Bryan Danielson and Matt Jackson next week?
I hope so. I said it during the week that they're probably going to do the way they did the stages for Jericho and MJF. Bryan or Danielson is going to have to go through the whole elite to get to Kenny Omega, maybe at Full Gear, because the whole ranking system for the title has gone out the window for this feud. Gladly, thankfully so, I would take it just for this feud alone. I could reset it again. If Hangman comes back next week in the Casino ladder match as the Joker, gladly take that as well if he's number one contender. you'll be having Daniel Bryan will have a face-off someday. You know, I'm number one and he's number one. Like, you know, who's going to face Kenny? Maybe they'll have a match against each other, like, and they'll determine who the real contender will be. But between now and then, I'd definitely take Daniel against the whole elite. You know, whether he beats Adam Cole straight off the bat, you know, in a couple of weeks' time, if they do that, and I don't know if Adam, it shouldn't hurt Adam Cole if he loses to Daniel Bryan, because, you know, it's Daniel Bryan, like, so.
Well, what I'll say, you said something about Hangman Page, right? We need to see AEW's real character. Either they're going to push Hangman Page, he deserves to be champion next, right? So if they don't, then we know what All Elite are all about. They're putting on great matches, you know, they're doing everything right so far. But if Hangman falls on this pecking order, then we're going to know what kind of business AEW mean moving forward.
Well, no, you'll know on Wednesday night. If he's not the Joker and doesn't win that ladder match, then
you know they're overwriting what they've set out, like all their morals, and you're like, their morals are to look after people and you know, proper respect. And
they've been using the ranking structure, you know, properly for the world title since they began. Like, obviously TNT title doesn't really fall under that, because they defend it every week on TV, and open challenges and stuff like that doesn't matter. Like, but as a, you know, if Daniel Bryan gets the title shot before anybody else on the roster, the ranking system is gone. But, you know, they can bring it back next year. Like, but just for this feud alone, if they're doing it just for this feud alone, I don't mind it, because it's Daniel Bryan and they want to get these people over and get more people viewing. Like,
yeah, for sure. And you know what, as well, I think it's good with the news that came out during the week that there's not as much creative control with the EVPs anymore, that everything is now going through Tony Khan, which I think is a good move, because we know what happens with too many cooks. We kind of spoke about this as well. We certainly did when AEW first came out, and I was like, there are a lot of chiefs. We haven't got enough Indians yet. So I think that's pretty cool. And as well, there hasn't been a huge focus with Kenny and Bryan Danielson. There hasn't been a huge focus on any sort of a title. It's them facing each other. So I'm hoping that, as you say, Jerry, that we find out what they are all about and they are true to their word and give the fans what they want, because Hangman Page is going to be ridiculously over when he comes back. Fingers crossed he is the Joker. At the end of this, then, we had bitches be tapping in the middle of the ring. Kenny and Adam Cole were tapping in the middle of the ring. Everybody left him. Kenny nearly did when he came back. So nice little Easter egg there to a slow burning, maybe breakup further down the line. And then Excalibur just shocked a lot of us, and I don't think I'm right after it. Now, guys, I don't know about you, but for a while, probably my entire wrestling fandom, I was always 100% sure that the apron was the hardest part of the ring. Okay. And I'm sure you agree that the apron is the hardest part of the ring. Well, Excalibur blew us all out of the water on Friday night by telling us, in fact, it's not. It's the second hardest part of the ring. And the ring post is, in fact, the hardest part of the ring. My dreams have been shattered and crushed. I feel like my whole life is a lie. And I'm not really sure how long it's going to take to get over this. I am shocked, disappointed, and mostly saddened. Hurt and saddened is what I am. So thanks, Excalibur, for crushing our wrestling dreams, but it's all okay. It's fine. Jade Cargill, Thunder Rosa, and Nyla Rose, then next match. Good to see Cargill working with more experienced wrestlers, because she needs it, because there are still a couple of green tinges there, which is good, but she need. I'm not sure how I feel about the win. I would have preferred maybe some shenanigans, but I think she's getting the experience that she needs. Surely, Jerry, Jade Cargill is a future superstar.
Oh yeah, she's got everything. Like, she looks amazing. But yeah, she has everything. I think they brought her in. You know what I mean? She looked a big deal from the start. Needs a bit more experience, but she's going to be huge. Yeah, I think she's the poster girl moving forward.
Definitely. And Thunder Rosa is an animal. I love Thunder Rosa. I think she's fabulous. From the moment she steps through that walkway, I just think she is just, weak for her. I absolutely love it.
Thankfully, she didn't stay with AEW, and she was part of the whole train with Godfather at one stage.
That's where she started.
I was like,
oh my God. Never give up on your dreams, guys. Never give up on your dreams. Look at her now, you know, and I think that she, from an experience view, that she's great for Jade Cargill to work with as well. I think that she'd help her tighten up and soften her moves and things like that too. And then we came to our main event. Our main event this week was a bit of a shenanigan as well. It was Orange Cassidy and Jack Evans in a hair versus hair match. Now, we all love our hair versus hair match. We all love to see Vince's head getting shaved, etc., etc. So I think this is more of a comedic presence, this match, but tell me, Jack Evans, a note of appreciation for Jack Evans. I think he has got a lot more in the tank, and I'm looking forward to seeing what this guy brings. What do you think of?
Yeah, he's talented. He's definitely got a good high-flying gear. He spent a lot of time in Mexico in the Lucha Underground, and he put on some great matches down there that I've seen online, and people were talking about it afterwards. You don't get to see him do stuff like that on any, AEW unless you watch Dark, and I haven't watched Dark in a long time, so I'm not sure if he does do stuff. But he did stand out. He did a lot of cool moves. He looked pretty good. It's Orange Cassidy, so most Orange Cassidy matches are going to be the comedy segment, and I love Orange Cassidy. But again, the match itself was still in Rochester for after Dynamite, so it was going to close the show, sending the fans home happy with the Dark Order and -1 closing the show. So it was a good way to finish off a good couple of days.
I think so too. I think it put a nice ribbon on the present, and it really did. It just tied it all up into a lovely little bow. Overall, Jerry, are you loving Rampage?
Yeah, I like, to be honest, that was one of them things I will catch up on. I love it. I just think, as you said, I am worried about Hangman Page. I hope they get it right with him. I want to see him the next champ. Obviously, Brian's coming, Punk is floating about. But yeah, it's good. I'm a big fan of AEW Dark because, look, there's a lot of stars that we obviously bring on that will kind of feature a lot in AEW Dark. But yeah, it's unreal. I can't fault it. To me right now, it's leading the way ahead of SmackDown and Raw and NXT 2.0. I do like NXT 2.0. I'm surprised how good it's been. But you have to talk about, obviously I'm going to mention quickly Rick Steiner's his son, is an absolute fucking animal. But yeah, I like AEW's. It's huge, lads. I love it. I'm just looking forward to what's to come. I still think they have a couple of surprises up their sleeve. I really do. I would not be surprised if Bray Wyatt, I thought he was going to feature maybe early this week. You know what I mean? I thought he was going to come back, but as you said, look, there's going to be a couple of more surprises up their sleeve, and I'm just looking forward to seeing what they pull out of the bag still, because they have plenty of money. They know what they're doing. It's not overpacked just yet, but hopefully they maintain that good balance and they keep the 5 stars coming all year long. Yeah.
And they've got a big show Wednesday night as well. There's some big matches coming up, and obviously the battle, the ladder match is going to be huge. Yeah. But the Elite are in the 8-man tag match, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wednesday night as well.
Oh my God! What
do you get when you cross a dragon, a dinosaur, a vampire, and Tarzan? They're facing off against Elite and Wednesday night.
So we will definitely find out, because it is it is like the world's greatest joke. When you think of who is in the teams, it's actually hilarious. So no, that should be a really, really good match. None of those people, none of those stars will ever leave us down. They all bring so much to the table, and they all just bring something. They all bring so much, but they all bring something different. But it just flows so well, and it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. We're excited again. We're invested again. I'm hoping that the momentum keeps going for WWE after the draft, and we get some really fabulous feuds, and we don't just move a load of people, the same people, to the same brands for the same feuds, because we don't want that. We want something fresh and new. So I'm hoping that's where we're going with it. So yeah, roll on Monday Night Raw for the remainder of the draft for the next pool. Guys, as always, it's been...
Don't forget, next Saturday, OTT back live in Dublin. We'll be there. Can't wait.
Hopefully. I was getting to it. I was getting to it. All right, love, but thanks for having my back anyway. So I can tell you this much, by there'll be 2 people going up to OTT. There'll be 1 coming back.
You walk over, but you're limping back.
Yeah, you walk over, but you're limping back.
WrestleSlam in the house.
You're telling, yeah. So, it has been a great chat today, guys. Great podcast. Lovely to get some views on some fantasy booking as well, and you know, things that we're excited about, that we're happy about, not happy about, and how everything's going to move forward. It's always a pleasure to catch up and chat. As my husband so rightfully reminded me, even though I already knew I was going to say it, was that, yes, live wrestling next weekend, OTT in Dublin, WrestleSlam will be in the house, and we are super excited and hope to give our fans an insight into what a remarkable setup OTT actually is and the talent that is showcased. So look out for lots of little tidbits and snips after next weekend, guys, on the YouTube WrestleSlam channel. If you have not subscribed already, what are you doing? Get on it. There will be a link below. You can catch all of our fabulous content and meet the crew soon enough. So on behalf of myself being Liz, himself being Jerry, and of course the one and only tribal chief, Jerry Collin, El Jefe, that's it, yeah. El Jefe, the boss, Jerry Collin. Have a fantastic weekend, guys, and an excellent week ahead for wrestling and draft picks. So talk to you all soon, guys. Bye.
Bye, guys.